So either you're a final year student or you have already graduated and you are now interested to know your master opportunities across the world. So आप law के graduate हैं तो आपको ये समझना ज़रूरी है कि the degree that you have completed is obviously recognized in the UK and therefore it becomes the most popular destination to study your postgraduate degree. That said, it doesn't mean you have to go to the UK to study. You can go to any other country in the world. But remember, if you're a LLB graduate, there are certain restrictions or certain additional requirements that you will have to also complete if you plan to use your further studies to practice law in that particular country or jurisdiction. तो इसको समझने के लिए पहले तो हम ये समझें कि हमारे पास पाथवेज क्या होते हैं. पाथवेज आपके पास क्या होंगे कि आपके पास बैचलर्स डिग्री है तो मास्टर्स डिग्री के लिए आप या तो एक एकेडमिक डिग्री पढ़ सकते हैं विच वुड बी एन LLM और यू कैन स्टडी अ प्रोफेशनल कोर्स और अ प्रोफेशनल डिग्री जिसका यूके में नाम बार एट लॉ BTC बार ट्रेनिंग कोर्स से हम जानते हैं. And the other pathway is the SQE, the solicitor pathway, the solicitor training course. So professional course कर सकते हैं या academic course कर सकते हैं. अगर UK जाएंगे तो professional courses BTC और SQE होगा. अगर कोई और मुल्क में जाएंगे तो generally speaking it will not be a degree, it may more be an exam centric diploma or certificate course. But जो academic course है, the LLM, that will be universal. That is available across all jurisdictions. Now UK is generally well known, well established and well understood as well. So rather than delving into UK in detail, I would like to talk a little bit about the other opportunities. Because of the increased interest that the students have in the USA and Australia in recent times. So yes, you can study an LLM in the US, you can study an LLM in Australia. It will be a standard admission process, but bear in mind that unlike UK, at least today, which has a very straightforward and a very streamlined student visa policy. The student visa process in USA and Australia is determined by the strength of your application and your ability to appear at the visa interview and your performance at that interview. So that is key. Now, one of the key challenges that students may face is the justification of going to Australia to study law as a Pakistani student who has previously completed a UK law degree. So these things require attention. इसके लिए मेरी recommendation होती है कि rather than going for a pure LLM, which you can completely do, definitely do, you should look at courses that may be related to law but not necessarily pure law courses, so that it increases your ability to justify why you want to study that course. In the interest of time, let's simplify the conversation in terms of the admission process. While UK again is very flexible in the admission process and will allow you to apply today, even for September 26th, based on provisional documents or even the lack of them. For example, if IELTS is required as part of admission and if you don't have it today, you can still apply. But countries like Australia, USA, Canada and other major destinations will require you to have certain documentations in place, including your academic transcripts, before you can apply. So while it is not a blanket rule that all universities will have this restriction, it is expected to be the case for the options that you generally are looking at, the top universities in Australia, for example, the top universities in US, for example. So unless you have already graduated and you have your official transcript and degree in hand, in which case you can apply today, you should plan to graduate, get hold of your official certificate and transcript, and then look to apply. And therefore tentatively plan for at least a year in advance, meaning that if you will get your complete your degree in August 26, tentatively plan to study in September of 2027, giving you sufficient time to do the admission paperwork, allow you enough bandwidth in terms of the visa timeline, waiting times that are associated with the visa. ये सब चीज़ों के लिए आपके पास time होगा. So just make sure that you are planned accordingly. Now, in anticipation of that admission application, make sure that you have two things. One, your experience, your skill, your consistent storyline, if you will, career storyline is well managed. काम करें तो एक पर्पस के साथ और एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग के साथ करें कि ठीक है, मुझे आगे जाके ऑस्ट्रेलिया में काम करना है या वहाँ पे जाना है या वहाँ पे पढ़ना है, तो उसके रिलेटेड चीज़ें अभी होनी चाहिए, even as part of your internships or your work that you're doing today. The other thing that you should also work on is your financial planning. Countries beyond the UK will have a much more involved scrutiny of your finances, and they may ask you literally how every rupee has come into your account. And therefore, in anticipation of that, start your financial planning where the funds that you are going to allocate towards your studies are coming from official sources and are well documented, and you are able to prove that. And as a rule of thumb, again, because this is a general conversation for the entire world, try to maintain your funds at least 6 months in advance so that you have a very well documented and a very strong financial history that you're able to submit as part of your application. So, again, in summary, if you want to go for postgraduate studies, just make sure that you are paying attention to your career path, for which you can definitely have a more detailed conversation with us, and you're also financially planning for it if you are looking at destinations beyond the UK. Thank you.